Welcome to yet another episode of Mind Your Business. Today's guest, we have with us entrepreneur, a businessman, and his name is Mr. Hiral Bagadia. Welcome to my podcast,
Hello.
and so glad to have you here. So, to my listeners, if you can quickly tell a bit about yourself, it'll be great.
Okay, now a bit about myself. Now that's always going to be a good one because now since I am on a podcast which tells mind your own business, so now the first thing that comes up in my mind is like, okay, mind your own business. This is a good line, but geographically wherever we are placed, that's the rarest of thing that happens. No one wants to mind their own business.
Yeah,
Rather, it's like everyone wants to play around with others.
other businesses.
Right. So that's how even I'll be more precise about my journey. That's how even that started, minding about your own business and peeping in others' business. So yes, well, to start off with, I am a postgraduate. I have a degree in post graduation with marketing and international business as my forte, and I did my masters, my MBA. So now the best part is like not like any others who have their MBA just pertaining in one college or one institute. I have it spread across not just institutes but across countries. So I had an international exposure while I was doing my masters, and that's how my journey of working, my journey of understanding what work is, what life is. That's when everything started. So yes, that's the basic thing about me. That okay, I have had a fair amount of share of both the worlds. Consider it as an employee. I had been an employee for a good amount of time, and now I am an employer. So understanding the difference between employee and employer, which is not just E and R, but there is a whole amount of world and a whole amount of experience which differentiates both of them.
Yeah.
Being an employee and being an employer, there is a vast difference. Basically it's like what do I say, one is sun, one is moon, though both of them are always there, but having an insight on both of them at the very same time is a bit difficult.
Yeah.
So yes, that's how it is. After working for one of the biggest banks, private banks of our country, I have now shifted towards a business which is being run by my family. So that
Yeah.
makes me a second generation businessman for
Yeah.
our family.
Yeah.
And I'm just following the legacy of my family, taking forward things, taking forward challenges,
Yeah.
and not to forget, taking forward liabilities.
True. True. Every true entrepreneurs thing it is okay. Now, from job, you said you worked with the largest private bank in India. So from job, and that was how many years? For how many years?
I worked for around a year and a half.
Okay, so nearly a year and 2 years.
Yes, nearly
And
nearly 2 years.
yeah. So after 2 years of working with a private bank, you moved into joining your father, moved into your family business. How was this transition, and why did you take this decision, or especially that transition from being a corporate employee, a proper corporate guy, where you have all streamlined and a huge MNC and bank and all, coming to this family business, and was it turbulent? How was it?
I would not consider it as a turbulent journey. Rather, always been from a family of businessmen. I always had business kind of strategies and business in my mind. But the only thing was, I just didn't wanted to sit on a chair which was already been owned by my family.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring my own chair, and that precisely would be that I wanted my own expertise, my own network, and my own thought process to be a part of my decision making rather than just following a protocol and a set of things which are already there in a family business. So I just didn't wanted to utilize things as they were. I wanted to make things my own and then utilize. So that led me towards working outside, making my own networking, understanding how the market works, how the situation works. And then once I had that stuff, it was not always a very easy decision for me to jump from a job to business.
Yeah.
Because when you are working in an organization, certainly you have certain responsibilities to take care of,
Yeah.
and you have a team who look forward to you, and they are there based on you. So leaving everything and just going that stuff was a bit difficult, but said and done, there was an incident that happened, which actually,
This was in your business?
no, this was in my job when I was in the phase where I was standing on such a position where I had to choose between a job and business. So that was the time when I was just not able to make up my mind, and it precisely took me around more than 4 to 5 months to finally decide what I wanted to do. And practically, friends, family, and all the close people who were there with me, my close circle, I was not able to get any answers from any of those people because everyone would have different answers.
Yeah.
So it was like which answer to follow. There was kind of stuff, and I had got my own set of thought process which did not allow me to take any answer as it is on their face value. But this was a thing that I came across. I don't remember the name of the company, but he was managing director of the company. And one day he walked into our branch and he had some issues. So we were sitting in my cabin and we were discussing about things. His issue got sorted out, no doubt. But while he was going back, while he was walking away from my cabin, he suddenly moved back. And since we had been talking since past 40 to 45 minutes, so he by now had a brief knowledge about what my background is and where my family dwells. So he just said one sentence before he walked out of my office. He's like, in job you would run your own family, but if you do a business, you are running so many families, because then so many families are dependent on you, your decisions. You do good, you do bad, you're not the only one who's going to reap the outcome of that stuff. There's an entire group of people who would face the consequences of whatever good or bad comes. So that was one thing that struck my mind, that okay, rather than running just my house, why not I join a business and run the houses of as many number of people are there. And that was a moment when it was a turning point basically, or you can say that that was a point where an employee turned an employer. So that's where I shifted the gears, and then I came down, I joined this thing. And precisely it's an MSME sector, which is not even a large scale sector or SME sector. It is micro small sector. Below it there's just one sector which is tiny. So in the hierarchy this is the second lowest sector.
Yeah. Yeah.
But having said and done that stuff, you are always connected at the grassroots level.
Yeah.
No matter whatever MBA has taught, whatever jargons have you learned, whatever marketing activities you know, whatever production things you know, to implement that stuff with those kind of people who don't even have their basic education, to make them work and to make your goals achieve through those kind of people, that itself is, yes, it is a challenge, but it's fun at the same time.
Yeah.
It's fun, because no matter whatever you have learned,
It's unlearn
nothing
and learn.
nothing gets implemented. I
Yeah,
mean, I cannot just implement all the theories that I've learned, and I can tell them that okay, fine, we'll be doing this thing and kind of stuff. They would not understand any of the stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Like, yes, there is this thing that we also, like any other corporates, we also have meetings, we also have get-togethers and round table things, but our things are based on actual facts and figures, and not
yeah.
on graphs, charts and
Just
diagrams,
on.
because they would not understand that thing.
Yeah,
I show them a graph or a diagram and they would be like,
yeah, yeah,
we don't know any of this thing. You tell us what we have to do, and you tell us how we have to do, what where how.
how?
That's it. You tell us this things and we'll do this thing. That's it. Rest of the things does not bother them.
Yeah,
Like in the corporate structure, we have a fear of getting unemployed,
mm,
fear of disguised employment. Whereas over here, there's no such thing. These are the people who don't have their basic education, so they don't fear their job. Job
yeah,
stability is something that does not matter to them. If they are not working for me, within the next 15 minutes, they'll be working for someone else.
yeah.
Because for them, at the end of the day, what matters? Few
Income,
hundred
money should.
rupees, few hundred rupees should be there in their pocket at the end of the day. That's what matters to them. Not like us that we take a fat paycheck or kind of stuff at the end of the month. No, for them, it's like they've lived today, and today is the day they live for. Tomorrow again is a new day for them, new life for them, new challenges for them, everything new.
Yeah,
They don't carry any baggages.
yeah.
Every day is a new day in their life, a new chapter that they write, and that's how they live.
Yeah, just to include or add on, like, uh, which sector, what is your business about?
Okay, so now we are into the manufacturing sector, and
Okay.
when I say manufacturing, it is hardcore manufacturing, labor oriented sector.
So you have factories.
Yes, we have a factory, and we are into the transformer sector, wherein we don't make the entire transformer, as in we don't assemble the entire transformer, but the core of the
Raw
transformer.
material.
Yes, the heart of transformer,
Yeah,
that we call it as the core of the transformer is being made by my company, and we supply them to government as well as private companies
private.
who make the entire transformers, who assemble the entire transformers, and then it's the power sector, a
Yeah,
sector which ideally should never see a recession phase, because electricity is something that is just keep on increasing. That demand is keeping
yeah,
it just increasing, and sitting in that part of country where, if I quote this Hindi thing, where जहाँ पे सन हम पे बहुत ज़्यादा मेहरबान है, like, so we have got hydra energy, we have got solar energy. So we have got, the apart from the artificial energies that have been created, we even have natural source of energies that are available. And when there are so many source of energies available, just imagine the amount of electricity that this state, Gujarat state, would be manufacturing. I still remember there was a time when our present prime minister was the chief minister of our state.
yeah,
That was the time when Gujarat was the only state in the entire India which had surplus energy that they were selling to the neighboring states. They were passing on to neighboring states. So, yes, the first solar project happened over here. Hydra project, Sardar Sarovar, happened over here. So basically, we are blessed with all these things. So entering into this was not just a challenge, but it was even an exciting phase wherein I, being from hardcore commerce background.
Yeah, yeah.
I have in hardcore bachelor's in commerce and then master's in business administration. And all throughout my degree days and postgraduate days, economics used to be my favorite subject. So I had nothing to do with watt losses and no load loss and all this kind of electrical engineering terminologies.
Terminologies. Yeah.
Took me 4 years to learn about all what things are there, what are different jargons that the engineers, electrical engineers would put in. And yes, today I am running a company which caters the electrical engineering
Yeah.
field,
Yeah.
and we're doing good.
How long has it been? You started with this business?
It's this business certainly has been started long back. It's
Yeah.
an family
Yeah, yeah,
business, so
family business.
it's been a long thing. It's been a long journey, but my
Yeah.
association or me boarding up this wagon is around now around 8 years now. So
Do you
yes.
have does your business have competitors?
Oh yes, we certainly have this thing because see, the first thing is like in the early 80s, late 70s and early 80s, this was a licensed business.
Oh, okay.
But then with the liberalization policy that came in, this happened to be an open business then
Yeah.
now. So yes, we have got, I would not say just few, but we have got hundreds of competitors. And since this is the hub for manufacturing sector, we have got so many competitors over here.
So, don't you fear that because if there are many competitors, where do you stand, or it's very different that the projects you get versus, or do you have any
See,
limitations?
I mean, this is one thing that now I would want to. I wanted this thing to come up a bit later in this podcast, but now since we have spoken about this
Yeah.
thing, uh, the only problem with most of us is we feel competition.
Okay.
Competition with whom? Everyone is doing their own work. Everyone is doing their own job. You, at the end of the day, what matters is the amount of satisfaction that you get out of what you do. Materialistic world remains still a level. Post a level, there is no materialistic world. It's like at the end of the day, you're not supposed to just be counting money, but at the end of the day, a proper and sound sleep is what matters to a human being.
Yeah.
So see, it's a huge market. There are various players. Everyone has got their own shares. I'm getting sufficient. I am happy with whatever I'm getting. I am able to fulfill not just my needs and my desires, but so many people who are directly and indirectly employed under me or are associated with us. They all are having their own good life with like the basic things of this thing, that roti kapda makan. They all are having that stuff. What else would you want? Human needs are endless.
Did the COVID and lockdown affect your business? It
Oh,
was a manufacturing thing. That's why, I
yes.
posed this question that 2 years, okay, of COVID. How, and you work with kind of both skilled and unskilled labor. Okay, since you are
Yes.
manufacturing unit, you have a factory. So to run their homes, okay, what was that like?
COVID
COVID
was
period.
something. COVID was something that not just affected us; it affected the entire world. The entire world economy went for a toss, and 2 years was the time when it did not affect us practically. It did not affect us at that point of time. Its effect started once we restarted our production facilities.
Oh,
That was when we started facing the effect of COVID.
You were paying salaries or
Yes, we were paying salaries. We were
you
paying.
have wage workers as well?
We do have wage workers. We
Yet
do.
you were paying.
Yes, yes, we have workforce
Wow.
that draws fixed as well as variable salaries.
Yeah.
So we had been paying both of them. We had been taking care of all of them, their fooding, their shelter, because many of the workers who are there have come from different parts of country.
Yeah.
So those were the times when people were not in a position to go back to their home or to their native
They were
places,
stuck.
and they were basically those kind of people who were like daily wage workers and kind of stuff. So for them, it was like not possible to go back to their place. So yes, their shelter costing, their fooding expenses, everything was being taken care by us. So yes, things were good, and
Once the production
once
restarted,
the
then
production
it was
restarted,
challenging.
then it was challenging. Then it was
Ah.
challenging because by then the entire economy had gone down.
Ah.
Though that was a time when not just the economy was down, but even the inflation was rising up. So when this thing happens in economics, it is a dangerous situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? When each and every commodity's price keep on increasing, but at the same time your income does not increase.
Yeah.
So that is when you start feeling the crunch. So once the activity started, everything was kind of like costlier then. The purchasing went on beyond our expectations,
Yeah.
but the selling price did not go up
Expected. Or as it has to
as
generally.
as compared to the purchase.
Purchase. Yeah.
Right. Normally, it is like if purchase increases by X percent, the selling price also goes up by X percent. But that was not the case now. Selling price was increasing by X percent, but purchasing price was increasing by 3x and 4x. That was the phase when actually the crunches started, and that was the phase that pushed not just us but most of the companies 5 years down the line. We were pushed back 5 years down the line. I mean, our data started reflecting the balance sheets of 5 years back. The production data, the sales data, all that things were back. The entire system then came to an actual standstill. In COVID, we had stock because that was the thing. Then everything was running, and COVID came, so we were equipped with the stock thing.
Yeah.
But after that stuff, there was no fresh stock that was coming in of raw material. So till the time we had stock, it was good. But
Once
but then
purchase price will increase.
purchase prices increasing, the curbs started coming in because all the countries had different what do I say, they had different criterias, and they had
Yeah.
different timings where they were opening up businesses
Yeah.
and catering into this steel industry. We are into silicon steel industry, so which is not something which we are dependent on Indian government only. We are majorly dependent on imports, and the big players in international market are China, Russia, Korea, Japan, United States of America.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was difficult
Yeah.
with
Because
the dollar
every
prices
yeah.
keeping on increasing.
Yeah.
Everything
And
was
every
increasing.
country opening in different phases.
Different phases.
And starting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then yes, then things were quite difficult. Then things were quite
How
difficult.
long did that phase go for you? Like
That phase is still passing by.
it's
That
that impactful? Like
yes, we were 5 years down. We were like pushed back 5 years. So now
so the
we,
recovery and coming
so
back
now
and
yes,
exceeding the
it's like in Hindi there is very famous phrase that again I would quote. Sorry, but I have been using this phrase quite often. हाथी निकल गया पूंछ बाकी है.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like everything has been good till now, but yes, now we are just on the verge of having things back on track with our finances, with our production facilities, with everything. But yes, touchwood 2024 is certainly, this financial year is going to be something which can be looked upon to.
Wow. Wow. It took. I'm still
Oh
surprised. Like it's.
yes.
Wow. How do you then keep yourself motivated? Like because see, even for businessmen, as much as they take risk, as much as we say they are all rounders, they have to be aware of every sector. Like I'm not comparing your job. Everyone has its own ways, but sticking to the business factor when this happens, because you have a lot of people under you. You have your own child, which is your business to grow. Like, how do you keep yourself motivated and okay, okay, yeah, we'll do this. It's just a phase, and
See, there are only two things that a person can do: either sit and cry about a thing, or wash your face and think about what next is going to happen.
yeah, yeah,
So either you keep on, reading the
just
past.
gripping and getting stuck.
So it's like either you be a part of history or you make history.
Creators, correct, correct, makes sense.
As simple as that is. But yes, everything having said and done, see, we are normal human beings, wherein things do impact us. So it's very important to divert yourself times and again.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, talking about me, what did I do? I have my factory timings till evening, and then in the entire evening time, I'm all free.
yeah.
Right. So now the thing is like, yet our production capacities did not increase that much that we would stress for later evening timings. So we had single shift going on. Post that, what to do? If you sit idle, if you reach home early, then there are thoughts that keep on moving in your mind.
Exactly.
So the best way to keep your thoughts away from you is
Divert.
divert yourself to some
Do
other
something
activity. Do
that you're passionate about.
do some hobby, or take any of the things that you would have wanting to be, to be a part of your life, but you could not just do it anyhow. So yes, there was this one thing that I always wanted to do. So I took that thing up and I did that stuff. uh, I always used to love playing with words,
Yeah.
and I had been writing poems,
Poems. Yeah,
and
yeah.
I had been working on novels also. So I just started doing that thing, started writing a lot and kind of stuff, and then slowly and gradually I diverted myself from writing to putting those words in a rhythmic form. So that was the point of time when I started learning Indian classical vocals. So evenings was like a creative time for me,
Yeah.
and the daytime was the
Business.
time where I used to be at my factory, used to take care of the business.
Now, in family business, what happens is you have one generation, which is the parents, the father, okay,
Yes,
running the whole thing with his hard work and whatever he's experienced and
yes,
seen changes, probably adapted to some based on the industry requirements, as much as
yes.
you can. And you having studied specific post graduation and having experience in different countries, you joined your father here. So how was it working? Is it like hard working versus smart working here? Bringing in different technology and ideology, because you've seen, what it is.
See, it's like, one is practical and the other one is theory.
Yeah.
Right. Both are equally important. You cannot just rely on being practical all the time without knowing what the theory is. At the same time, you cannot just rely on theory without knowing how practically things would shape up. So here what happens, yes, there are points of differences. There are different opinions in the ideas. But that's how the entire thing is, where it's the delegation of authority, delegation of power, and delegation of activities that happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I joined, my father being the boss of the business, I, compared to him, I was not considered at par at he is.
Yeah.
So what happened? He slowly and gradually started giving me responsibilities.
Yeah.
So slowly and gradually he started delegating powers to me. Like one department at the same time. I since have worked with a banking sector. He at the very first go, he gave me the banking things,
Finance work,
the
accounts work.
finance work.
Yeah.
Yes, he, though we had a chartered accountant, we had hired an auditor also for our firm. But then he told me to just look after those sectors.
Yeah.
So once I knew what was the financial situation of the company, that was a time when he then introduced me to the
Manufacturing.
manufacturing thing, to the production line. And that was when the production things that I had learned under the subject of production management used to come in, things wherein FIFO, LIFO, and all that kind of stuff, just in time techniques and all the things were certain points that was a time when I thought to introduce that stuff, but that was later on. First, I had to understand how machineries used to work, basically, because when you know how to operate, then only you can tell others to operate. So for me, it was a training period, yes, wherein first was the finance sector, moved to the production sector, and marketing was something that was taken care by both of us, because it was like I was very good with my drafting skills and kind of stuff. So I used to draft mails and I used to draft
Yeah.
letters and kind of stuff, and we used to send it across different mediums. I used to, uh, I had approached various platforms where I could just portray what my company is, what are the activities that we do, and what are expertise. So yes, marketing was taken care by both of us. Labor was a sector which even today is very tricky, because dealing with those who do not even possess the basic qualifications, with them you cannot deal professionally.
Yeah.
So there, that is a sector which is a dicey one, so that needs more experience. So he takes care of that thing. And the last remaining sector was the purchase sector. Now, since he has his relations with all the vendors and everyone across since past 20-25 years, so that is a sector which I still avoid
Yeah.
doing, and I leave that thing on him. So currently in today's scenario, that's the sector that is taken care by him
Okay.
for his expertise in that stuff, while the production, banking, I mean, finance majorly, the human resource and all that kind of stuff is something that I look up. So it's like we have diverted things so that now there are less number of different opinions, wherein you know whom to approach,
Yeah.
where even the employees know whom to approach for
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
And so now it's like a clear thing, a clear perspective about how things move around.
That's good.
So that's how it is now. Initially, yes, there were clashes, but it takes time to settle down.
Now, what is your opinion and thoughts on having this Make in India concept that's come? What do you think? How labor's are getting impacted, or are they getting enough opportunities with all technology creeping in now, automation creeping in, people now, the production especially.
Yes, see, all the thing, all this Make in India thing or vibrant summits that keep on happening everywhere around the country. This is just because to pump up the production activities that would increase the production things, and towards the end of everything, the GDP of our country to go up. But everything said and done, we are labor oriented country,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So at no point of time you can overlook labors and you can go on a fully automation stuff.
that's not
That's
possible no matter
not
how
possible no matter how
developed we get.
developed we
Yeah,
get. Yes, yes, yes. Our GDP can go way above any of the developed nations thing, but our per capita is going to remain
yeah,
less.
yeah.
So yes, uh,
Both will coexist.
both will coexist, and all this other things that the government is coming up with, Make in India and all kind of stuff, is good actually, on a sense that it is making us less dependent on other countries, wherein we have got labors, we have got unutilized potential. So it's just utilizing those potential and doing things on our own rather than being dependent on some other country, because COVID has taught us one thing: the more self-reliant you are,
Yeah,
the better it is.
better it is.
The moment you are dependent on someone else, and if that thing does not happen, you are in a situation from where you don't have any thoughts. So yes, these things are good. These things are giving push towards the local things
Yeah,
in
empowering, giving them
empowering. Yes,
opportunity to
yes,
grow,
yes, yes,
building
yes.
growth.
There are so many financial things also which are coming up, with so many financial institutions, private as well as public, coming up offering things. Startup India, Make
Yeah,
in India, and all these things are, they are,
supporting more.
yes, they certainly are now the pillars of your production or manufacturing units. They are pushing us to have a broader perspective about things, and they are pushing our boundaries basically. They are motivating us to do things that we previously thought, "Ke nahi yaar, we cannot do this thing. This
Yeah,
is something which only this country can do or that country can do." No, it is creating self-awareness and
yeah,
a belief in us that we are fully accomplished to do anything and everything.
anything, anything. Yeah. We
So
have resources. Our country
we have
definitely has good
resources.
resources.
Yes, yes, yes.
Labor's there, obviously. Know-hows.
We have got
We have
best brain in the world.
definitely. It's just, yeah, we
It's
needed
just
that
utilizing things
government support,
properly.
opening to people and things. And so now, what is your say? What's the roadmap for your business now? Like 5 years down the line, do you intend to have some more SKU or some more projects in pipeline you wish to have?
Yes, 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 yes. See, till now it was a sustainability thing
Yeah,
that was there with everyone, and since I said that now 23, 24 is the year that we are looking up to now rescale our potentials. We are pumping in more resources, may it be finance, may it be machineries, may it be labors, may it be any of the things. We are trying to pump up things which were fully labor oriented. This year we are planning to introduce semi automation,
nice.
which is going to be a commutation and combination of labor as well as machine.
Machines. Yeah.
So it is going to be a combination of both of them at different phases, different involvement. Initial phases labor would be more involved, At the later phases, machineries would be more involved. So at different phases, but both are equally
Balancing
important.
out.
And we certainly would be going forward with semi-automation that would scale up the production activities now. So yes, this coming year, certainly the entire, not just my business or our business, it's going to be a wonderful year for most of the businesses that are there who wants to, scale up themselves.
Yeah,
This year is going to be a wonderful year for everyone.
nice. Now, last thoughts you want to give to budding businessmen, either they do their startup or join their family business like you did. Any, push you want to give them? Some piece of advice based on your experience so far.
There are just two things that anyone can have: to be passionate about thing and to have patience.
Patience is the key
Patience is the key. Yes, you cannot just be impatient
and give up.
and give up. No, it's like just before the dawn, you have the darkest of the face.
So you're the poet counsel.
Oh yes, that
But
certainly.
it's very deep, very insightful too.
Yes, you have to stick around, and it's like success is something that is going to happen. That's going to come. So don't just think about success. Just think about, it's like, following the journey and not thinking about the destination.
Destination.
Enjoy the journey,
Yeah.
live out the phase that you have, try to give your best for the present, and the future is going to be based on the present.
You will reach your destination ultimately.
Yes, 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 yes.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming to my podcast.
It
It was a
was an
pleasure.
utter pleasure.
And guys, if anybody has any, you need advices, suggestions, if you are into a family business, if you can relate to whatever we've spoken, please comment down. Okay, let us know what you're into and what are your challenges or what are your benefits. Like how. You are expanding whatsoever. We would love to know your stories too. Thank you for listening, joining in, and I'll see you next episode. Bye.